Hey there, it's Ash here, and I'm joining you from Bali, and I'm just listening to some music and just had a healer leave my place. And it was so interesting for him to talk about what he saw and what he thought of me. And when I checked my DMs on Instagram, I saw that somebody had emailed me asking how I made the decision to call off my wedding. And I just found it to be such a beautiful question, because really when you ask that question, what I'm hearing is, how did you learn to listen to the truth, and how did you have the courage to honor it? Because I think right this moment, right now, you know if something is for you or not for you. And more often than not, I find people, when they're asking me what they should do about something that's troubling them, they already know the answer. Maybe they know that they need to go a challenging route and they need to work through it. But a lot of the times they know that thing that they're so used to, that thing that they feel a sense of comfort in, that thing that has been familiar to them for so long is no longer a match for them. And so the first way I think we know is based on our body. One thing that I've talked about often is that the truth isn't something you learn. It's something you recognize. And here's what I mean by that. Have you ever had somebody say something to you and everything in your body is like, yes, like it was like they found a way to say it in a way that it was like, yes, how did they find the words that I couldn't even realize I needed to find? That's because you already knew the truth. It was already inside of you. It was that somebody shared something and it touched on that truth that you know. That's why I think that the truth just isn't something you learn. It's something you recognize. It's something that's already there. And if that's true, the truth of what you need to know or what is here for you in life, it's already available. It's just a matter of being able to connect and to be able to feel it and be able to honor it and have the courage to do that. And so when it comes down to the person who asked me, should I call my wedding and should I not? How do I get the courage, or how do I make sure I'm making the right decision? I think the first thing to offer is that I would question the belief that there's such a thing as a wrong decision. I get that, you can find many different people that are a match for you. And I think every person you can pick in your lifetime, we have many soulmates, I think. So again, this is just my opinion, but if we have many soulmates, we're going to have a different universe, a different experience with every single one. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm in the mood for chocolate and other times I'm in the mood for vanilla. They're both amazing experiences. They're just really different. And I think so is the case with decisions. I don't know if there's such a thing as making the wrong decision, because number one, you're always learning. But number two, you're right around the corner from whatever feels good as well all the time. And one thing that I've talked about is that there's 3 different types of energy. And I learned this from Emily Fletcher in the meditation episode of the U-Turn podcast. And there's creation, maintenance, and destruction, if you haven't heard me talk about this. And what I learned from Emily is that at any given moment, we're in creation. And that means that we are building something, inspired by something, going upwards in our creation. And if we're not creating, we're in maintenance. And I totally get that as a business owner. For the longest time, creating my e-courses on how to figure out what you're meant to do, or how to get a job, or how to start your business. All of those e-courses were a period of creation for me, but they were followed by a period of maintenance where it was like, okay, now that I created it, now that people are in my course, I need to keep it going. I need to keep people finding out about it, or whatever those things are. And once you get really comfortable in maintenance, eventually the nature of who we are as people, as spirits, as energies, is that I think we want to keep creating. And so in order for us to keep creating, we need to dismantle what we've started to maintain. And so what that looks like is often destruction after a period of creation, maintenance, and then it's followed by destruction. And what happens after destruction? Creation. It's cyclical. It's almost like on the earth, like people are always being born, people are always passing away. And in the wake of people passing away, children are being born in that very moment. So I think there's this circularity, I don't even know if that's a word, to the way that the world works. And so I think that when it comes back to making a wrong decision or a right decision, what you really need to ask yourself first is there such a thing? Because if you don't do one path, you're just going to go do another path. And you're going to learn no matter which path you take. And I think that life is just here for your ascension, and life is friendly, and life is really the ultimate coach if you let it show you things. And that's why a lot of the times when I have a question in my life, instead of saying, I need to go find the answer, what I say is, I'm going to sit with this question and I'm going to let life show me the answer. And in that way, it's almost like life is the ultimate coach, right? It's a better coach than I could ever be because it's going to show you. And so what I want to ask this person right now who's thinking, should I call off my wedding? Should I leave that job? Should I start that business? Should I stop living here? Should I, change my anything? The first question is, how does it feel in your body? How does it feel in your body? Does it feel like a yes? Does it feel like a no? Do you expand into creation when you think about it? Or do you retract and feel destruction when you think about it? So just check in. Whatever you're trying to work through right now, whatever decision you're trying to make, just check in. And then the second question I would ask you is, what are the beliefs you're buying into about it? Like, if you're thinking about calling off your wedding or changing jobs or breaking up with somebody, what are you believing? What are you catastrophizing? What are the fears that you're buying into if you make that decision? Are you in scarcity, that there's not another person or not another job? What's keeping you from making that decision? And then the third invitation I have is to trust that whenever you're in destruction, creation's around the corner. And here's the thing about the truth. Like I said, it's not something that you learn, it's something you recognize, right? So ultimately, what's going to happen is the truth is always going to be here. And what does it feel like when you're not listening to the truth? It feels like anxiety. The number one indicator I've found that people are not in the truth is when they have anxiety. And anxiety is tiring. It's like pushing a beach ball down under the ocean. So my invitation to you is, if you're in anxiety, let it be a messenger. Ask the anxiety what message it has for you. What is it scared of? What is it believing that you can forgive yourself for? And the ultimate message I have for you is that life is intelligent, that whatever intelligence is holding the stars in the sky, the moon in the sky at night, you're a part of that same intelligence. So my invitation is to trust yourself, because you already know the answers to the questions that you have. And if you don't know, ask life and let it be your coach and show you. All right, sending you lots of love. Thanks for listening. Not sure if I sound crazy or helpful. Would love to hear from you on the gram at Ashley Stahl. And honestly, if somebody is struggling right now to make a decision, send this to them, because ultimately the way that decisions work, you're going to have to rip the Band-Aid off at some point, and you know the truth right now. So if the truth hurts, know that it might be painful, but there's no anxiety in it. So set yourself free. Listen to the truth today. And know that if you rip the Band-Aid off now, you might cry this year, but there's going to be light. There's going to be creation after your destruction. And the thing about the truth is, I don't like to delay it because it's always there anyway. So I choose to just tune in and be onwards and upwards about it. All right. Sending you lots of love. Thanks for listening.